Hi, I'm Steven. This is John. We are from Just Got Played, and we are bringing you MrX's top 25 games of all time. So, what is that? Well, go back and watch our video from December 1st, where we talk about game number 25, if you want to learn a little more about it. But essentially, this is an aggregated list, so a top 25 that was collected from a bunch of people's input. And today, we are on December 3rd, and we are doing number 23. And so we are going to be talking about a party game, which is Just One. So Just One has been on this is the 7th time we've done this list, but Just One has been on the list before. It was number 10 in 2020, but number 23 this year. So Just One is, like I mentioned, is a party game, and it's actually a cooperative party game, which I don't think you find a lot of those. But essentially, you're given a placard, and there's one person who is trying to guess a clue. So there's a card, and they pick a number 1 through 5, which tells everybody else at the table what is the clue, what is the word that they are trying to guess. And of course, the thing they're trying to guess is just one word. And everybody gets to write down just one word on their placard. But before they show those clues to the person who's making the guess, they compare all of their clues to everybody else at the table. So if anybody put the same clues, those have to go face down and the person doesn't get those clues. So you've got this balance of trying to give a clue that's obvious enough to get the person to guess the thing, but not so obvious that other people are also trying to give that same clue. Once the person gets to look at the clues that are available to them, they get just one guess as to what the answer is. And if they get it right, your team scores a point. If not, you don't, and you just go to the next person in order. And I think in the game you play maybe 13 rounds and then look at your score. Nobody really cares what the score is. Everybody just plays this game for fun. So, John, why don't you tell me what you think about Just One?
This is basically like, whose line is it anyway? The points don't matter and it's all made up. You're trying to get the clue and everybody's secretly writing their word, and you don't want to give the obvious answers because someone else is going to write that. It gets erased and then that person won't have any options. So a lot of times you'll just have a lot of very like wacky out there clues that make very much sense in context of you knowing the answer. But when the person opens their eyes is trying to guess, they're just like, what is going on? Because they're so eclectic and out there. One of my favorite things in a party game is a simple mechanic that's really clever and drives engagement. And that's exactly what this game is. It's very simple, very easy to play, very easy to teach, but it has so many great moments because it's just you're using your mind to be creative, and then you cross over with somebody, you're like, I can't believe you wrote that. And it's just a lot of fun times. It's a great filler game. It's a great party game. It's one of those that you always want to keep in your collection because there's so many opportunities where you can grab it out and it'll just fit the atmosphere perfectly.
Yeah. One of the things I like about this game is when in a later round, you actually give a clue that references something that happened as part of the discussion from a previous round of that same game. So that's always fun. But yeah, sort of one of the things that I always think about when I'm talking about party games is nobody really cares what the score is, right? You're just there for the experience. So there is a score and it is a game, but that's not why you're playing it. But yeah, I really like this game a lot. You've got to be creative. And I do actually, even when I teach the game now, I do a little aside about what you were talking about. I call it sort of the rookie mistake for people playing Just One, where your clue is totally clever and interesting if you know what the answer is, right?
Well, the flip side of that is that nobody writes the really solid clues because you're worried they're going to get erased. So you have no foundation to work off of, and you just got 7 disparate answers across the board that don't seem to match up to anything.
Yeah, it's great when everybody flips their thing around and nobody did the obvious 1 or 2 clues. But yeah, it's funny. Like, I don't know, say somebody wrote the word snow and angel is the thing you're getting people to guess. Snow angel makes perfect sense. But if you just see the word snow, who thinks angel, right? So yeah, anyway, it's kind of the thing where sometimes we laugh at the people who gave the clues, but it's all in good fun, right? It's not like you're making fun of somebody. It's just sort of fun. I played this game with a guy who gave off the wall, obscure, bonkers clues. And if you just happen to deeply know that anime like he did or whatever he was referencing, then maybe that helped you out. But, it was his clues were difficult for a lot of us. And it's funny too, actually, when you're playing that game, when you're the person who's guessing, I like to do that sometimes. Like I can't figure this out. So I will like maybe put one clue out and see if I can focus on maybe 3 instead of 4 or 5 instead of 6 and see if that helps, but again, like nobody really cares if you've got it right or not.
Since nobody cares about the points, like if they're having a little bit of struggle, you might push 2 of the placards together and go, oh, look at this combination. And, just kind of give them a hint as they're working towards it. And then it becomes like a little puzzle for them. They go, oh, I get it now. And then they know the answer, So when the points don't matter, you have a lot of fun interactions like that because nobody cares if you cheat a little bit.
There are definitely some people who don't like party games because they don't like being under the microscope. And this game has a being under the microscope moment, right? Everybody showed you the clues. Now you have to figure it out. And you're like, I feel like a dummy because I'm not getting it. Everybody's staring at me, right? So but I will say that if you have people that are like that with some party games, just put them later in the turn order. Right after they've seen a few rounds go by, because I think by the time it gets to them, they'll see that it just nobody cares. It doesn't really matter. Nobody's judging you. Like if you don't get it, whatever, just say something and move on. So it does have sort of that moment, but you can get around it. But
I could see this potentially falling flat with the wrong group, but I've played a ton of this game and I've never seen anything less than everybody enjoying themselves. So
yeah, I've played with a lot of different groups. I played with my kids. I played with my family. We played on a gaming cruise. We played at a gaming convention. We played at my game night. I played at my work. After work one time when we had a gaming session, I pulled this out and
take it down to DMV. See if you can lighten that place up.
Yeah, right. But this I'd have to stop and think about it, but this is possibly my favorite party game of all time. Maybe not, definitely top 3 or 5 or something, right? I mean, there's a couple that I really like, but this is way up there. And so I'm glad to see that on the aggregated list, just one is all the way up at number 23. So, all right. Join us tomorrow for number 22 on December 4th, and we'll tell you about the next game on the list. And as always, I want to remind you that this is a contest. All you have to do to enter is every day you can leave a comment on each one of these videos. On this one, tell us what you think about the game Just One. And if you haven't played Just One or don't have an opinion about Just One, tell us what your favorite party game to play is. Doesn't even have to be a board game, right? Charades, whatever, just tell us what your favorite party game is. All right. Well, I'm Steven. That's John. We're with Just Got Played. And thanks for joining us.